So a couple of weeks ago, I noticed that there was kind of a feud between the YouTube channels The Vanguard and Dissidence. And I noticed that they were kind of going after each other personally and making really negative statements about each other. And, it kind of seemed counterproductive to me because these people are both against the ruling class and for democracy and for the betterment of society through the welfare of humanity. And it just seems like, especially on the left, I've heard that it's been like this for a while, and lately it's been like this on the right too, but there's just been people really going after each other with personal attacks and hot takes. And I don't know if it's like a habit, like if people subconsciously knows that it drives up views, so they do it. But I think it just shows how much we need a coalition of people to come together on the areas where we agree and debate the areas where we disagree. We don't need complete unity because that's impossible. We're always going to be divided on some level, but we need to have like basic respect for each other that's going to help us build a winning coalition so that we can make progress in the labor movement, in politics, in everywhere in society. So what I'm saying is that I'd like to be a voice that calls for some kind of unification between disagreeing parties who agree on quite a large percentage of things anyway. One of the guys on Dissidence, he was part of the Bernie Sanders campaign, and the guys on the Vanguard, they're all pro Bernie Sanders, so there's a lot of agreement there. And yeah, we have criticisms of Bernie Sanders, like all three of us, but Bernie Sanders has done amazing work too, so you can't just completely throw him out. You really have to almost assume that people are doing their very best and they're trying to make the world a better place, even if it seems like they're not living up to your ideal of how they should do it. I would really like to see the Vanguard and Dissidents have a conversation and try to mend things, because I can see them really coming together and doing something incredible. Like, for example, Dissidents criticized the Vanguard for not covering the Workers' Strike Back movement. And the Workers' Strike Back movement is something that's, I think, pretty great. I've looked into it and I'm excited about it and I want to get involved. And I really hope that it becomes a major movement in the country, because that's what we need. We need to seize the labor power and basically overthrow the corporatist government. And I don't think that we'll be able to do that as easily if we're going at each other over like petty things. And it's hard to be respectful to someone when they've been disrespectful to you. But a good example of someone who does basically what I'm saying is Kyle Kalinske, and you might have criticisms of him. I mean, I've looked online and I've seen some indications that he's a millionaire, and you know, he's made millions of dollars from advertisements on YouTube, which we all know isn't like ideal. Like advertisements on YouTube, I don't know. It's capitalist. It's part of the system. It's feeding into the system and making it stronger, but it's also subverting it at the same time, and it kind of depends on how much the system is really exploiting us and how much it's suppressing us and how much we can break through that. So, in conclusion, I just want to say, let's find common ground. And let's respectfully debate where we disagree and see if we can change our points of view and come to a better understanding. I hope that people on the left, like the Young Turks, Secular Talk, Breaking Points, Vosh, Do Dissidence, the Vanguard, David Pakman, the Rational National, you know, you name it. I hope that we can kind of like take off our armor and lay down our swords and really collaborate, because that's where we'll get our strength from. So let's do it. This is a call to action. Let's mend the wounds, heal, and move on.